Hey everybody, what's going on? Audrey here, the Fit, Fearless, and Faithful Mom. Thanks so much for coming back. If it's your first time, welcome. We'd love for you to tap that subscribe button, tap that notification bell so that you can hang out with me more often. I relate fitness to faith. I talk about homeschooling, and I have a lot of life chatter as well. So what I have been doing is explaining all the curriculum that I'm using, why I'm using it, how I'm using it, and so forth. So let's keep going with Singapore math. You know, when we first started homeschooling, one of my biggest things was what am I going to do for math? What am I going to do for reading? And man, there's so many different curriculums out there. There's math you see, there's Singapore math, there's the Abeka math, there's Acellus that's online. You can do so many different things. If you check out Kathy Duffy reviews, there's so many different resources so that you can find the best program for your children or child. The reason why we chose Singapore math was, first, it is rigorous. Second, I really liked the structure of it. I liked the push that it gave the kids. I felt like it matched our daughter's personality, and now it's matching our son's. So I am doing it. I have two kids who are doing Singapore math, but today I'm just going to go over the 3B because that's what we're in right now. Now, one thing to note about Singapore math is that the levels don't necessarily correspond to the grade. The 3B is really equivalent to the beginning to middle of fourth grade in certain ways. So that's something to take note of. Some of the concepts do move at a faster pace than traditional schooling, but in other ways, other things don't. If you're doing another math program, let me know how it's working for you and the structure and the rigidness of it, because I love talking to other moms about the different curriculums that they have. So when you buy the Singapore math curriculum, you get the workbook and the textbook. They are not worksheets. Now, my kids do love worksheets, so this is kind of a little bit different for them, but it's working out nicely. You can see I put tabs on here, and I'll just tell them, take out your workbook, go tab to tab. Because at the beginning of each lesson, it has really nice explanations. In these books, no, it is not super pretty colors or anything. In the 1A that I have for my now 5-year-old, it does have some pictures, but it's pretty basic. Like, I've seen some other math programs before where they have really cool pictures, but this is pretty basic. So if your kids care about that, I do get the full teacher's manual with this that I'll show you. And the reason that I get it is because it has a lot of different explanations. It has lesson plans in it. If you get I believe it's called the Home Study Guide, it's not this thick at all. I think it's even paperback, but it has the answers to the workbooks in it. I really want the teacher's manual. I'm a teacher. I want all the books and I want all the stuff, and if there are things that I should be using or materials that I should be utilizing, I want to know what those are. I want to be able to just flip open and then customize as needed instead of just getting answer keys with a little description in it. So that's just me. And as you can see, I should have said this in the beginning, I do use the US version. There are 3 different versions to Singapore math. There's the US version, which is the basic version of mathematics. Then there is the Common Core version. Then there is the California Standards. There are 3 totally different methods of teaching. We do the US version. I do not do the Common Core version at all. I enjoy the US version. I enjoy the way it's taught. My kids know the base 10 system. They know how to break things down. So make sure if you're going to order that you're ordering the right kind. As far as the tests are concerned, the standard version of the tests combines California and the US. So some of the tests in here don't necessarily correspond to the textbook, but that's okay. When we were doing 3A, there were tests on probability and standards or something along those lines, but it wasn't in the textbook. So that's okay. Now the Common Core test, it's a totally different packet. So that is something to note. Another thing to note, there are multiple choice in here. There is fill in the. These tests can be challenging, and that's why I suggest you get the extra practice book, you get the sprints book, and you get the intensive. So there's an intensive book that it's intense. It really makes you think. So I do 1 or 2 problems with Kyler a day to have her thinking more critically. And then there's also a challenging word problem book that I need to reorder for her, but let's take a closer look at Singapore math right now. All right, so here is the 3B teacher's guide for the US. Let's open it up. Here's the table of contents that you can see a true scope and sequence of what 3B is going to be. What I love is that pretty much in every single unit, they have just a short little review of mental calculation, and I love it because mental calculation is so important. So they have mental calculation, the B's, like the 2B's and the 3B's and the 4B's, goes into a lot of length, weight, and capacity. I've noticed that now for the past couple levels that we've done, and I don't mind it at all. So that's what we're doing right now, length, weight, capacity. It then moves into fractions and time and geometry, area and perimeter. Now, if you're looking to see what's actually ahead in every manual, again, it gives you the breakdown of what's to come. So we finished 3A, which is multiplying and dividing by hundreds, tens, and ones, multiplication tables of 6, 7, 8, and 9, because the other multiplication tables were done previously, and this is what we're doing right now. And then you can look ahead and you can say, okay, what are we going to be doing in the future? Well, in 4A, we're going back to multiplication and division, right? But now we're getting bigger and we're getting bigger numbers. What are we doing in 4B? Well, decimals. We're moving into measures. Here's the textbook for 3B. Starts off with multiplication, like super simple stuff in the beginning. Let's go to the middle of the book. Now we're into weight of kilograms and grams, which is heavier, and it always has which workbook exercises correspond. They always have a practice towards the end of each chapter. They either have 1 or 2, depending upon the chapter length. Or if it's only like 1 page for a chapter, they may not have any practice except for the workbook. Now, these reviews are great because it reviews everything that you have done up until that point. We're getting into fractions, how to change them. Every unit has a unit test that comprises of everything that they've ever studied, which I think is phenomenal. This is the workbook for 3B. I really enjoy this a lot. Again, it's really basic, no colors or anything like that. Like, just do the work, get it done, no frills, which is kind of our style. So here's review 4. I told you that these reviews were a accumulation of everything that we have done. The extra practice books, you only have to buy 1 time per level. So you don't have to buy an A, you don't have to buy a B, it's just 3. So when you open this up, it's just practice. There's nothing in the textbooks that refer to the extra practice. You open it up and you go. Lots of word problem practice in here as well. The teacher's manual also has at the back of the book a lot of different reviews that you can do. Look at all these mental math worksheets. What I've done in the past with them is I have actually copied these and laminated them. That way I just have them. Or if you want to make copies, you can do that too. There's a lot of different review sheets that you can do. One of my only gripes about this textbook is that in the previous teacher's manual, it had all of the reviews and all of the textbook and workbook answers at the back of the book. And I really liked that because I would just tab it. I prefer the workbook and textbook to be answers to be at the back of the book. This is the sprints book. Again, just like with the extra practice book, you do not have to buy a 3A or 3B. This is just workbook 3. So as you're going through, This is to be done as many as you can in 1 minute. Once 1 minute is done, you do the next column. Because the way that we as humans remember things the best way is if we have pressure put on us. So I am all for having a little pressure put. Again, I'm not trying to like break the kids or anything like that, but it's important. So here are the tests for level 3B. A, don't pay attention to this unit 6 and chapter 2, but test A again is fill in the blank, 20 points. Test B, same thing, multiple choice. Don't let the multiple choice fool you because they give trick answers. So watch it with that one. Here's a cumulative test. So everything they've done up through units 1 and 6, they give a unit test. It's wonderful. All right, friends, thanks so much for stopping in. Let me know what you're using for your math curriculum right now. We've been loving Singapore math. I will link below where to find it, how to get it, and hopefully it'll be a use for you. Remember, tap that subscribe button, tap that notification bell so that you can hang out with me more. Would love for you to do so. If I can pray for you in any way, please let me know. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. Bye.